Maybe I'm a false prophet. I think about it a lot. What if I'm the very thing I warn people about? Feeling like I'm called to lead, to inspire, to point others to Jesus. But behind closed doors, it's just a different story. I do things I know God wouldn't be proud of. Things I don't even want to admit to myself. Thought patterns of evilness, pain I'm projecting. And what about the people I'm trying to help? And I stand here telling you about freedom and hope while I'm still feeling chained to my own hypocrisy. Reflecting on how Jesus despised the hypocrites. How can I not feel like the fakest person in the room, like a counterfeit build that's just convincing enough to pass? On the outside, I'm saying all of the right things. I know the verses. I know the steps. I know the heart of the Lord. But on the inside, I'm really at war. Fighting battles I'm too ashamed to admit I'm losing. Thinking of verses while sinning. Wanting to tell this person about God and what He's done in my life. But questioning if I even have the authority for that anymore. And I want to be good. I want to encourage people. To bring them closer to God. But sometimes I just do the exact opposite. I fall short in ways that make me wonder if I'm even qualified to claim I'm a Jesus follower in the first place. How can I talk about grace when I still wrestle with guilt? How can I preach about freedom when I feel trapped? Did I ever really pick up my cross? And it all makes me wonder. But then I'm reminded of David, a man who failed God countless times, a man who committed sins so great that most of us would have just written him off completely, and yet he's still remembered as a man after God's own heart. How is that? David wasn't perfect, far from it actually, but he kept coming back to God. No matter how many times he fell, he didn't run from his brokenness, but he brought it to the feet of his Creator, time after time. And maybe that's it. Maybe in God's eyes, it isn't about being perfect, but rather it's about being honest and humble. It's about exposing the cracks of the foundation so that God can rebuild what's broken. And maybe that's why I'm here. Maybe that's why you're here. Because it was never our job to be the hero, but maybe it's our job to point to the one who is. Through my sin, through my brokenness, through my shame, to show that even in my weakness, Jesus is still complete and He's still strong. So yeah, call me a fraud. And maybe I mess up more than I should, but here's what I know. I'm an imperfect man, striving to love the Lord even if I fail. And if that's all I am, if that's all I ever am, I'm okay with that. Because God's grace doesn't run out because I'm imperfect. And if you ever feel like you're too far gone or you're too messed up to be used by God, you're wrong. Because He can still use David, murderers, the crooked of the crooked, men and women who stumble, that have doubts and fall. Then He can use anyone. Jesus didn't come for the perfect. He came for the broken. That's you and me. Maybe I am a false prophet. Or maybe I'm just another flawed man that has experienced grace, trying to tell the world about the one who never gives up on us.